Shalom, shalom, Israel's brother Zaba. Y'all are coming back at you with another cold cut. Like to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. It's going to be a quick cold cut, just going into pushing yourself to levels you thought you never could get to, right? Pushing yourself to different levels in this truth, right? You want to go as hard as you can in this truth. You got to push yourself to things you have never done before, or things you never thought you could do, right? If you never taught before, try to teach, right? If you never, in your congregation, you don't really know too much about technology, hey, get in there with your recorder and learn a little bit more things, right? If you wanted to learn how to design and make clothes and, different things, and you never thought you had that craftsmanship, hey, get in there and try. There's nothing wrong with trying, and nothing wrong with, trying to increase in righteousness in different diverse things. Our forefathers, they loved husbandry. They were architects. They knew how to construct and build. They knew mathematics. They knew how to counsel. Our forefathers knew judgment. They were very wise men. You have to go, whatever you find your hand to do, you have to, do it with your might, paraphrase. Actually, let me get that. Let me go to Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Try your hardest to do, be diverse. Right? It's Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 10. And it says, and so, Slakia, 9 and 10, right? Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Yeah, when you go to the grave, you're not going to learn anything. There's no knowledge there. There's no devices there. There's no wisdom there waiting for you, man. Right? So whatever you find your hand to do it with your might, man. Right, whether it's trying new things, whether you try to figure out certain new things for this truth, or how you can, kind of conjure up certain things for this truth, for the knowledge, for your body, for the congregation, so you can give more alms, whatever you need to do. But you don't want to be a one-trick pony in the truth. You're just known as that brother that can just prophesy all day, and that's it. Brother asks you help him with his car. I don't know about that. Brother asks you for some designs, for a website he trying to build, about clothing or whatever. Hey, I ain't creative. I don't got no style. Look at how I dress. That's evil, right? Try to help out and try to do something else other than just be a one-dimensional man or a woman. Women can get in there with the baking. Women can get in there with the what's that called? Meal prepping, right? You may know a little bit about health and body and nursing, whatever. You want to know how to do different things in this truth and being diverse, right? Let me go to the book of 2 Chronicles. Our forefathers weren't just regular, even the prophets, they weren't just men that just, they knew how to do things, right? Let me go to 2 Chronicles chapter 26, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. And he built towers in deserts, and this is talking about our King Uzziah, in which we bring out this precept a lot. Because King Uzziah, he loved husbandry. And he's going to tell you that. This man built towers in the desert and digged many wells, man. He knew how to work with his hands. He knew how to direct men that knew how to work with their hands. Right? And it says, for he had much cattle, both in the low country, also in the plains, husbandmen also, and vine dressers in the mountains and in Carmel, for he loved husbandry. Husbandry comes with know how to garden, knowing how to, what they say in the word, you got a green thumb. You're looking at the weeds, you're looking at this, you know how to, you know what time and season these grew and how long it grew. That's what Uzziah knew how to do. And that was, and that was on top of his office of being the king and delegating different matters. We're kings on the earth. Aren't we a nation of kings and priests? You have to know how to do different things. Let me go to the book of Amos. Let's talk about Amos. Let's see what he was. Let's go to Amos, the 7th chapter. Right, let's go to Amos chapter 7 and 14. It's the book of Amos chapter 7 and verse number 14. And it says, then answered Amos and said it to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. So Amos, he was a herdman, right? He was a leader, leading the cattle and the herds, and he gathered sycamore fruit. He knew about the fruits. Again, he knew about the garden and the planting. That's what he wasn't a prophet nor a prophet's son. The Lord just called him to do his work as much as us, man. The Lord called us out the world to do his work. So you may have certain knowledge of the things in the world. You know how to move, know how to do certain job applications. You may know how to coach, right? You may know how to do different things, man. Right? You may know how to speak eloquently. Right? You may know how to fix a car. You probably was a mechanic back then, whatever. You need to know how to do different things in this truth to help benefit the body, whether it's starting businesses or helping other brothers start. Hey, there's a brother in our congregation up in Detroit, right? Shout out to Kabosh. The brother know how to do taxes, man. He know about financial planning and different things and like that, man. What a lot of brothers may not know about, he can help you. So there's different things and there's different brothers and there's different offices that you can utilize while being in this truth, other than trying to break down Revelation the 16th chapter all day. Right? Yeah, you read 30 chapters, but you know, you're not versatile, as what they would say. Right? Let me read that again. Amos 7:14. Then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And the Lord took me as I followed the flock, and the Lord said unto me, go prophesy unto my people Israel, man. Right, let me go to the book of Maccabees. Right, let's read about Simon. And the day of Simon is tomorrow, and we better be keeping the day of Simon, man. Don't let this high holy day, it's not Passover, it's not, the Feast of Ingathering, that's your favorite high holy day. I understand that, but this is very special because Simon, he wasn't a one-trick pony either. He was a mighty captain. Right, he did a lot of things for Israel, man. Right, I'm going to go to the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 14. He was a great example of what it meant to play all roles for his people. This 1 Maccabees chapter 14 and verse 35. The people, therefore, seeing the acts of Simon and unto what glory he thought to bring his nation, made him their governor and chief priest, because he have done all these things, and for the justice and faith which he kept to his nation, and for that he sought by all means to exalt his people. So if you really seek all means to exalt your people, you're not going to play one role in this truth. Right? You're going to find out different talents that you have, different things that you may have carnally that the Lord gave you knowledge of, that you can utilize in this truth. He was made their captain, their governor, and their chief priest. All right, let's get some more. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 14, and I'm going to start at verse 41. And also that the Jews and priests that were well pleased that Simon should be their governor and high priest forever, until there shall arise a faithful prophet, moreover that he should be their captain, and should take charge of the sanctuary, to set them over the works, and over the country, and over the armor, and over the fortresses, that I say he should take charge of the sanctuary, man. Hey, before he was a captain, right, before he was a governor, before he was the chief priest, right, which he had to wear many hats, he was a counselor, right? Remember in 1 Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, right? Hey, Mattathias made Simon a counselor to his brother. He was a counselor. He was counseling Judas on different matters in war, and Jonathan, man. He was a warrior. He was a soldier, man. He played that role of a soldier. He knew what it meant, what it looked like to go to war. He'd been doing it all his life, and he still was doing it as a captain. So Simon was a very mighty man. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 45. So you understand, Simon was a very mighty man. He had to play wear multiple hats, and play multiple roles in his truth, as some of us ought to do. Right? This is the book of Sirach, chapter 45. Actually, I'm going to start at Sirach, chapter 50. I believe I won. This is Sirach, chapter 50, and verse 1. Short on time. Simon, the high priest, the son of Onias, who in his life repaired the house again, in his days fortified the temple. And by him was built from the foundation, the double height, the fortress of the wall about the temple. Right? In his days, the cistern to receive the water, being encompassed as the sea. Compassed as the sea, was covered with plates of brass. He took care of the temple, that it should not fall, and fortified the city against besieging. He was honored in the midst of the people in his coming out of the sanctuary. He was as the morning star in the midst of the cloud, and as the moon at the full. So imagine a moon at the full and midst of clouds. That's the morning. It's the sun outside, man. It's shining. That's how he was to his people, because that's how valuable he was. That's another thing. If you really want to be valuable in his truth, you have to know how to do multiple things and know how to have multiple offices in this truth. If you want to be valuable, if you want to add value to brothers' lives and sisters' lives, you need to know how to do more than one thing, because they're going to value you that much more, man. Right? But this is a very quick cold cut on going into, just adding value to other people's lives, but also know how to do multiple things in this truth, know how to step up in this truth and try new things you haven't before. But with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and bid a mighty strong shalom.